This continent knows the true meaning of racism. Its peoples have both been perpetrators of racism against others and themselves the victims of an insane and murderous racist ideology.
Nelson Mandela was a South African anti-apartheid revolutionary, political leader, and philanthropist who served as president of South Africa from 1994 to 1999. He was the country's first black head of state and the first elected in a fully representative democratic election. His government focused on dismantling the legacy of apartheid by tackling institutionalized racism and fostering racial reconciliation. Iconic as an anti-apartheid revolutionary, political leader, and philanthropist, Mandela is often considered one of the most influential figures of the 20th century. Nelson Mandela was born Rolihlahla Mandela on July 18, 1918, in the village of Mvezo, South Africa. He was the son of a Thembu chief, and he was raised in a traditional African culture. Mandela was a bright student, and he attended Fort Hare University, where he studied law. In 1944, Mandela joined the African National Congress, ANC, a political party that was fighting against apartheid. He quickly rose through the ranks of the ANC, and he became a leading figure in the anti-apartheid movement.
For anybody who changes his principles depending on whom he is dealing, that is not a man who can lead a nation.
In 1962, Mandela was arrested and charged with treason. He was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. Mandela spent the next 27 years in prison, where he continued to fight for the end of apartheid. In prison, Mandela met and befriended a number of other anti-apartheid activists, including Walter Sisulu and Oliver Tambo. These men became Mandela's mentors, and they helped him to develop his political philosophy. In 1985, Mandela was released from prison. He was greeted as a hero by the South African people, and he immediately resumed his leadership of the ANC.
The very right to be human is denied every day to hundreds of millions of people as a result of poverty and the unavailability of basic necessities such as food, jobs, water and shelter, education, healthcare, and a healthy environment.
The years following Mandela's release were marked by a great deal of violence. The ANC and the government were engaged in a bloody struggle, and many people were killed. Mandela called for peace, but his words were often ignored. In 1994, Mandela led the ANC to victory in the first fully representative democratic election in South Africa. He became the country's first black president, and he began the process of reconciliation between the country's black and white citizens. Mandela served as president for one term, and he retired from politics in 1999. He continued to work for peace and justice, and he received numerous awards for his work. Mandela died on December 5, 2013. At the age of 95, he is remembered as one of the greatest leaders of the 20th century, and his legacy continues to inspire people around the world. Nelson Mandela was a true hero. He dedicated his life to fighting for freedom and equality, and he never gave up even when it seemed like all hope was lost. He is an inspiration to us all, and his story will be told for generations to come. In this video, we have explored the story of Nelson Mandela's life and his journey to becoming a hero.
The time for the healing of the wounds has come. The moment to bridge the chasms that divide us has come. The time to build is upon us. We have at last achieved our political emancipation. We pledge ourselves to liberate all our people from the continuing bondage of poverty, deprivation, suffering, gender, and other discrimination.
We have seen how he emerged from prison to lead the ANC to victory in the first fully representative democratic election in South Africa, and how he became the country's first black president. Nelson Mandela's story is a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope. It is a reminder that we can all make a difference, no matter how small. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe for more stories about inspiring people.